It's time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears up!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. This show should get a custom song by me. The Secret Show has one. Why not this one? It would go, welcome everybody to the show. And then you would go, show. And then I'd be like, yeah. And then I'd say a bunch of words, and you guys might come in and say some words, and then I'd go back to singing, and then there'd be some music, and I think it'd be fun.
I think we should do that.
So a song is what you're describing, right?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Some call it a song.
For the most part. Who is that? What is that melodic voice I hear?
Oh,
Terran?
that's Taren. I'm back.
Taren. Yay.
I feel better.
Good. You should feel better.
It would have been really bad if I were in here last time because my nose was a hot mess.
Yeah.
Just
no
drippy,
good, huh?
And I sounded like this. It's just
yeah.
Hey guys. Yeah. No, it was just not good. It was not good. I really missed it because I haven't been here now. This is almost 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It feels like it.
Well, yeah, it feels like it. It feels
like it's been a while.
It was probably like
because we recorded in mid July for our last shows, I think.
Yeah.
And then now it's late August.
yeah,
About 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks.
yeah. So I missed you all.
Well, they missed you too.
I bet they did.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Welcome, everybody. We have a great show for you today. Taren, because she did miss the last show, we assigned her to do the history of Snow White's scary adventures.
Yes.
So, and I like doing these shows because they break into Fantasyland and break into the dark rides, which a lot of people are very, very much polarized on. But I personally love Fantasyland, although, you know, the only ride really that you should ever go on in Fantasyland is Pinocchio. I mean, everybody knows that.
Right.
No,
Well, that's part of actually what I talk about today. We'll get into it, but just, you know, the history of these rides that no one cares about. And I hate to say no one cares about, but like literally, I was racking my brain thinking of like any person, like, you know, fan of the show or just anybody that I know in my life that if I said, what's your favorite ride at Disneyland, would they say, oh, Snow White's Scary Adventure?
Duh.
No one is going to say that.
No one.
And so that kind of is what makes it interesting to me to find out the history of the ride. Like, why is it still there almost? You know,
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. So stuff like that I think is kind of cool. So I like to choose these kinds of those sort of like outliner rides.
For sure.
Nice.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. That is for sure. For sure, dude. Just tweaking my knob. I'm tweaking my knobs here a little bit. Don't worry about it.
Wow.
Thanks for joining us. You can find us on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, all that kind of stuff. Find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm assuming probably not Pinterest. I mean, we're there, but I don't think anybody
Bev says that she
there.
keeps up with it.
I know, but Bev is also the biggest liar I've ever met. So,
But it's Pinterest. It's like something that she
But on
enjoys doing already.
I know, but for some of the other jobs that I do, I follow the Ears Up Pinterest, and I haven't seen anything for a while, even though she says, I do it. What are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. But it's fine. Look, Pinterest is a boring, thankless job. So
yeah.
if anybody wants to do social media, you can let me know.
For free.
For free, of course, yeah. God, Matt, our archivist, he's probably going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Matt's doing a killer job, dude.
Yeah.
He's really crunching the numbers, trying to get us a bunch of information before the 100th episode. He actually sent me an email, and he goes, so you're saying that was show 94, but if you count them up on iTunes, there's 93 or something like that. He thinks we're missing a show.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, I wrote him back, and I said the S word. I was like, shoot.
Shucks.
If we are, I can't even begin to tell you where it went.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past us, and it was probably
No.
early on when we were trying to do too much too often, kind of a thing.
Right.
But we'll make it right. Supposedly this show's 95.
Okay.
So we have 5. So I think are we going to have to take a break before the 100th episode?
No,
Terra Bear?
because August. This is for August, and then we'll have
This
2 in
is
September.
No, you know what? This is probably
This is
for
for
September.
September
At this point. This show
Till 95 and 96 September.
will
Yeah,
be
95, 96 September.
Released.
October is then 97, 98.
This will be released on 9.
So we're gonna have to make something up.
Might have to double up.
We're gonna have to make up something.
Double up.
I'm okay with that.
If Matt's correct.
If Matt,
And I'm sure he is.
But if we can't solve it, I don't know. I'll go back one day when I have a bunch of free time. I'll go back and count our shows.
Or we could just take all the stuff that says 100th episode and just cross it out with a big
99.
marker and write 99.
You know what I have to do?
Jeez.
Here, I'm doing this right now. One of our listeners sent me this logo that looks like it's for the 100th show. Here, check this out. Is there anything behind the monitor, Terrence?
No, just toys.
You're good.
Just a toy in my bag of
Just a
wisdom
speeder.
teeth? Yeah.
What are we looking at? Oh. That's
Oh!
awesome. That is so awesome.
It's a 100th episode shirt, but it looks like the drum head on the Electric Light Parade.
That's-
I think it's the Main Street Electrical Parade.
Yeah.
I don't know why I call it the Electric Light Parade, but
That's dope.
that's not even the modified one. That's not even like the
That's
right one, dude.
awesome.
This is the right one, but it's hard to see.
But
anyway,
I'm in love with it.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put up on TeePublic, and we're going to, I think, use it for tote bags. We're going to print tote bags for the grab bags.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to do tote bags.
We
I
need to
don't
have
know
a
yet.
meeting on this.
We need to have a meeting, club
Right.
meeting.
Okay.
Because for the 100th episode,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna give everybody like a grab bag with
Right.
probably a pair of cover ears and some pins and just some stuff, right?
Right.
Just some cool
Some
stuff,
really cool stuff.
raffle ticket, whatever.
Okay.
But Taren was like, "Well, we could do canvas bags. I'm sure pretty cheap." And I was like, yeah, we could probably do that. So I think we'll hit that logo on one side and maybe our normal logo on the other side or whatever.
It looks
I don't know.
amazing.
It looks really good, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Hopefully, it's a big enough file
Yeah.
to be
that's
like
true.
high quality.
That's
But-
Super
really cool.
pixelated.
yeah, but they're also dots, so it's not like because they're
Right.
light bulbs,
Right.
So it's
Right.
not really high density graphic time,
Right.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't need to be.
That's true.
So Jeff, I appreciate that, dude. Thank you very much.
That
it
is
looks
very
great.
cool.
It looks
Amazing.
cool. But yeah, Matt's crunching it, dude, and he has me a list of here. Let me try to get into this, dude.
It is hot.
Oh, sorry, guys. My bad.
That's okay.
I did the thing.
What was that? What did you do?
That was our show.
Okay. Why was there music playing?
Because it was at the beginning.
It sounded like
I had
Match-
paused it.
It sounded
Got it.
like Matchbox 20 or something. Like,
No, that would have been your computer.
yeah, that's actually true.
Let me see. I know it's super hot in here. We got to, when we go to the run next weekend, I got to get your dad in here to throw that fan in there. That ceiling fan. It's
Like while we're
hot.
not here.
Sure.
Just put him to work.
Sure. Let's see. That is not the art. Where? Well, anyway, I don't have it. I don't have it here. But he has like a list of all of the things, all of Terran Thinks.
Nice.
He has a list of all of our history episodes.
He's so
he has a
cool.
list of just everything, man.
It's all the things we want to do, but we just don't do it. Like
Right.
he's doing it for us, and it's amazing.
For free. 'Cause
Yes.
He's a good dude. And I was like, hey, are you going to be at the 100th episode so I can like get you in? He goes, no, dude, I'm not going to be there. I'm like,
Oh,
God.
that's too bad.
Yeah, Land's History, Terran Thinks.
Maybe we could still send him like the gift bag.
Yeah, I still want to do something
we
for
could do
it.
something.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Give him some churro shirts. 22 segments of Terran's Thinks so far, Terran.
Really?
Not
And,
enough.
and here are all of them.
Oh, that's perfect. Because I forget them. Sometimes I'm like, I think of the same thing, and then I'm like, wait, I think I already said that.
Yeah. Episode 50, which was on 2015. We did episode 50,
Wow.
right? Have you guys ever thought about if there's someone exactly like you but on the other side of the world?
I forgot about that one.
See, and I have thought about that one again, and I've almost said it twice then. Oops.
Episode 51. How come they don't make burger or taco or like burrito flavored gum like for dieting? He even has her weird, her filler words in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was one I actually agreed with you on. The fried chicken with a little bit of grease in it.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Do you remember the very first Terran Thinks?
No, I don't.
If a pool
Was
was
it the
filled
pool?
with carbonated water
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Was a good
and
one,
you
too.
could keep in carbonation, could you breathe underwater a little bit? Because she thought that carbonated water was oxygen and not carbonic acid or whatever.
Isn't it carbon?
Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, not
No.
carbon dioxide.
Dioxide. Yeah.
Isn't the oxygen?
But you can't breathe it, homie.
I'm just saying.
I know, so am I.
It's not that far off.
Okay, let's move on.
Yes,
Anyway,
it's
thanks, Matt.
Science.
I appreciate it very much. You're doing a crackerjack job, my friend. Any feedback on the show goes to Taren at earsup-podcast.com. I gotta fix this thing. It's a weird angle. You can send compliments to Terrence at the above-mentioned Earl. You can say hi to Bev, and anything else comes to me. I'm Jason at earsup-podcast.com. Ears Up with a Z. Don't forget to check out the blog. I still need to do the next installment of the animated classics review.
Oh my gosh,
Yes, I
where
gotta
do we
do that.
stall out?
Me doing something, which is why I have you guys do so much, because I'm not doing anything.
Gotcha.
You can support Ears Up. You can go to our Amazon link and do your Amazon shopping from there. You can sign up to be a recurring donor via PayPal, or you can do it on Patreon, which is what I would suggest to you to do, so that way you get something else besides just a really cool podcast to listen to. You can go to getcoviers.com. I should change that on my copy, but I'm not going to. And buy Coviers. Be really cool in the parks, man. Buy Coviers and help us out. And you can support our friends by going to earsup-podcast.com and the About Us page. There's a Friends of Ears Up, and you can support everybody who has helped make this show possible. You can find live video of this show on YouTube, of course, until September, and it might even be later on. I don't know. I think we're going to go to Twitch. I've talked about it a little bit before, but I still think that's a good place for us, so we'll have to figure out how that works. Tickets are now sold out for the 100th show on November 11th. They're still sold out. Terrence is rioting family.
I just remember I don't know if we should do this. Do you think anyone would come? This is a dumb idea. No one's going to show up. It's going to be a waste of our time and a waste of our effort, because no one loves us enough to show up to this thing, and it's sold out.
It did sell out.
I know, we had
Yes.
to twist his arm on that one.
For
You did.
real.
Well, but I think that the comp list is larger than the ticket
Don't
sales.
say that out loud.
Oh,
It's not larger.
I'll just.
It's
It's
cut it.
just
pretty
Terrence has a
big.
giant family.
No,
I had to tell his family
kidding.
no, because he gave me his list too late.
Oh.
Actually, I might have a couple slots opened up because I have a couple people who can't make it. So
Okay.
before I tell you, Pink Bunny was going to be there.
she's not going to be there now.
No, because her and Gray Bunny, which I
Right.
sound like I'm on Sesame Street right now.
I know.
They're going to Shanghai Disney.
Oh,
What
that's cool.
are you-
But
Right,
they
and
could
they're
have chosen a different day.
They're coming back on that day, on the 11th.
I would
So I
like
wanna-
to be mad at them, but yeah, I get it.
How do you
That's cool.
right?
That's cool.
How do you say?
I am bummed, though.
I'm super bummed because Pink is cool.
Yeah. So is Gray.
That's true. That's true. Okay, here we go. Feedback, Taren. Hit 'em up.
Okay. This first one
The air
is
just kicked on, Terrence.
Thank
I know.
you.
I can see your upper lip. You're
Yeah,
sweating.
it feels like I'm playing basketball right now. I'm so hot, bro. Sorry for everyone looking at my sweaty back on the camera, by the way.
this first one is actually a comment on our second episode.
Oh, jeez.
Isn't so? It means people are checking us out.
People are checking us
I find
out.
it very interesting. So this was from the Finding Hotels Near Disneyland episode,
yes.
and
Wow. Some of our early works.
yeah,
Half of those hotels are closed now.
I know.
Go on.
And then everything I've written about that, or everything we've talked about it, is just not even
but
probably
it's okay because his
reasonable anymore.
Right.
His name is Norman, and his feedback has nothing to do with that.
Hello,
Okay.
Norman.
I know him.
I remember when the neighborhood around Disneyland had themed motels, like the Peter Pan Motor Lodge. There were also a few Disneyland connections in the Patty Hearst kidnapping from the 1970s. Apparently, one of the SLA terrorist kidnappers, Emily Harris, used to work at the original Disneyland Hotel. Also, the kidnappers and Patty Hearst holed up in a quote-unquote hotel near Disneyland during the police shootout and fire that killed the other SLA members. I also wanted to know which hotel it was, but all the descriptions I've seen are vague. I mean,
Okay.
kind of interesting though, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's super interesting. What was SLA like?
Yeah, I don't know
Simian
what that
Liberation
is.
Front. It was about monkeys, right? About Planet of the Apes tie-in or not? I'm just kidding.
No.
It's a bad joke. Yeah, that was cool, and I wanted you to include it because I don't know, maybe someone knows.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
like James in the chat room is probably like, well, Actually,
He's not there.
it wasn't really a
Dan will
hotel.
know.
It was considered a motel. Motels became popular.
So that was interesting.
Okay.
If anybody knows, let us know. Because now I want to know.
Homie wants to. Norm wants to know.
Norm wants to know. The next one is from Holly. She's written in a few times.
Hello, Holly.
But
we have
this
a
is
5-time limit though, so you
no,
can't.
but this is a particularly exciting feedback.
Oh.
Hey, Ears Up family. Just
Hello.
wanted to let you know that another one of your listeners
What's
is
up,
now
fam?
engaged.
Oh gosh! Congratulations.
He did it the night before we left for Disney because he knows I couldn't handle having 9 billion people watch me happy cry and happy snot and happy blubber. Hi, Conrad. I feel your feels. So we're off on our Disneyland engagement moon.
Wow.
Thanks for being amazing and the awesome friends I'll probably never meet, Holly.
Probably. That's
Well,
cool,
I hope
man.
we do meet you someday.
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk her into coming down. At least coming down.
Oh,
for
that'd
her
be cool.
100th. I don't know.
Where are they? Because they
They're
said Disney.
Oregon.
Okay.
They're Oregon. Her and I don't want to say his name, but her and her man just got engaged, and we're talking on Facebook. I'm like, you got to come down. She's like, well, tickets are sold out. Just come down. Just come down and hang out with us. We'll buy you a beer.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So it's at Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen on November 11th. So if you're there, you can't, if you want to come in, you can't see the show because, it's not fair to everyone who bought a ticket. But afterwards, we'll probably be around and, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we're still going to be there for the weekend.
Yeah.
Or at least a couple days or something. And then our last one today is from Andrea. It's
Andrea?
or Andrea. It's titled Fanny Packs.
Okay.
So whatever happened to the Main Street Fanny Packers? I'm down to wear one. My mother-in-law already does.
Send me an email. Jason at earsup-podcast.com. I got him actually right here, Terry. Got him right here.
It's just too bad we haven't come up with
1, 2.
teleportation yet.
I have 5. I have 5 patches left.
Oh.
5.
We have
Main
room for
Street
5
Fanny
more
Packers.
members.
That's
So-
it, maybe 6, because some dude paid, and then I emailed him. I was like, hey, homie, I need your address. And he never replied. And I hit him up again. I was like, hey, homie.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well,
Somehow we have 5 patches left, but I have probably 20 of the Main Street, tags. So
did you lose some or something?
no, I think I just had maybe order a bunch extra.
Oh.
But yeah, I got 5. So hit me up.
Andrea.
$25 for a pack of 3. You get the patch, you get the Main Street top rocker, and then I'm not really a rocker, it's a flat line, but I didn't want to, have any motorcycle clubs going, do you know the
We didn't want anybody getting beat up.
I will not get beat up for this show, by the way, or for that club. I will run. I will take my fanny pack off. I'm sorry, sir, and walk
Sir.
away and be out of the club. You don't have to jump me out. I'm walking out. So,
and then we jump you out.
and then you jump me out.
Right.
Yes.
That's all right. That's it, you said, for feedback?
That's it for feedback.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Taren. Now, are you prepared to give your history of Snow White's scary adventures?
I am.
All right, go for it. Take it
All
away,
right.
Taren.
So, this is a ride that we've all probably been on it if you're listening to this show, but probably not because you love Snow White or because the ride is just so amazing you have to ride it. You've probably been on it because it was a hot day and the line is both in the shade inside, but also there is no line. That's probably more of the reason why you've been on this. So while this ride isn't necessarily the most popular at Disneyland, it is one of the original rides from the park's opening, and that in and of itself is something special. So, of course, the ride opened on July 17th, 1955. That was opening day, and there were several familiar hands in the making of this ride. So to start off, I'm just going to kind of go through, and you guys are going to recognize a lot of these names from other shows, from, windows we've done. The main guy was Ken Anderson. He was
Mr. Anderson.
he was the designer, and he was responsible for creating the original 1955 ride. He had an architectural background. He was also the art director for the 1937 film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, so
Makes sense.
Yeah.
it was a natural choice.
Bring that dude in there.
Right. He selected the scenes that were depicted and designed the ride's architecture, and he actually ended up painting a lot of the ride set himself, but we'll get to more on that later. The track was laid out by Bill Martin, who we've also mentioned on the show. He had worked for 20th Century Fox as an art director and a set designer. So this made him an ideal choice to create kind of a twisting track that helps tell the story. But he had his work cut out for him, as
He sure did.
well, because
the story's terrible on the ride.
oh, well, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Well, so the ride was not built to specifications. The building was built, and then Bill Martin had to fit the ride inside of it.
Okay.
So I guess it kind of started. It makes sense the way fantasy is built. I think they just kind of built these buildings, and then they were like, "Oh, okay, now we need rides in them."
Okay.
But it probably should have been done like, we have this ride, let's build this building to go around it.
Right. That's the space we need,
But
kind of a thing.
that's
yeah.
not really what happened.
Okay.
So Bill Martin also created the conceptual tracks for Peter Pan's Flight, Autopia, and the Submarine Voyage.
Okay.
So he had hands in a lot of things, early Disneyland. Herb Ryman.
God, can you imagine? Sorry, can you imagine going from Autopia to this? Here's all this land. Take it, but we're gonna handcuff you right now.
Right. Yeah. The next one on the list is Herb Ryman. He was responsible for the interior background painting throughout the ride.
Okay.
You might recognize his name because he was also the man who created the first detailed map of Disneyland, which I think we've all seen that. It's in the Disney Gallery. So then there's Claude Coates. So him, along with Ken Anderson, brought that ultraviolet painting to life.
Okay.
Okay.
So that UV, the black light painting, was key to bringing this and many other Disney dark rides to life. This was kind of a new style of painting at the time. This is actually part of what set Disneyland's dark rides kind of on a different level than, say, Carnival rides or something like that. These it really brought another level of enchantment, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Whimsy.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So then there's Blaine Gibson. And it's unknown exactly what his role was in this ride in 1955.
What exactly do you do here?
Exactly. Like it's pretty clear that he was he's the famed Disney sculptor. He did everything at that time. So he had to have at least helped build some of the figures for the ride. Like he just had to have. But it's not really documented anywhere.
So you're saying he was involved, but nobody knows how.
Right.
Yeah, what capacity he was
Okay.
involved.
Yeah.
Right.
So then later on, in 1961, they did some improvements to the ride, and that is documented where him, along with Jack Fergus, a Disney model builder, they did then have a hand in helping with those improvements. So but his name is thrown out there. It's thought that he was probably involved.
Okay.
They just don't know. Yeah. What were you doing? I feel like he had meetings with his managers. And then, of course, as with most of the early Disney rides, Aero Development was involved. So WED Enterprises actually designed the original vehicles. However, Aero Development manufactured them.
Okay.
So these original vehicles were built to contain only a single bench. So it was a one bench car.
Okay.
It was very small. But the man there's a man named Bruce Bushman. He worked at Disney, and he patterned many of the ride vehicles at this time, and he was known to be broad.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Like a big dude?
Like a big
Big
dude.
dude.
Okay.
And because he was modeling them, he used himself as the model for the rides.
Okay.
So
He's like, I'm going to help my people out right now.
So what that meant is that even though this was a very small car and it only had one bench, it could often still fit up to 3 teenagers.
Right.
So it was still somewhat sizable.
Okay.
By the late 1960s, the original vehicles were actually replaced by double bench vehicles.
Okay.
And then during the bigger 1983 renovation, which happened to all of Fantasyland, they were then replaced with the 3-row seats, which I believe are still present today.
Okay.
Although it is impossible. This is the other thing. People don't like this ride because no one takes photos of it. Like even Daveland, you can't find a photo of the ride of the car.
Really?
Like there's photos of the ride, certain parts of the ride, but it is really hard to find.
There goes Terrence. Google
I know.
machine. The
But,
Google machine is
see,
active
and
right
he's gonna prove me wrong.
Right.
But
I'm not trying to prove you
no,
wrong.
but there's a lot of photos of the Walt Disney World one because that one shut down forever. So a lot of people took pictures of it then, but there's not a lot of the Disneyland one.
Okay.
So, but anyway, that's why I said I believe, because I can't really remember because who really goes on this ride that much.
now. Not me.
You're 100% correct.
So, and then lastly, it's important to mention that the ride did go through some improvements from 1959 to 1965. And these involved our friends Yale Gracie and Raleigh Crump.
Okay.
Okay.
So at the same time that they were doing this, they were also working on Haunted Mansion. So these improvements to the ride were a little bit more significant because they made the ride better in that they were bringing some of that Haunted Mansion kind of vibe to it. Mm-hmm. So they added a new mechanical witch figures. They did individual lighting for the dark forest trees instead of, I guess, just like one single kind of light. They repainted some of the sets. And then, of course, Yale Gracie provided some new sound effects.
Okay.
So, I mean, what we've learned is that this ride was created by some of the most talented artists in the Disneyland family.
Right.
So, why is it pretty much the redheaded stepchild of Fantasyland?
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think there's a few reasons.
Okay.
Because we haven't taken a stand as a team and said this is the best ride.
But it's not.
Everybody knows everything hinges upon what we say.
Well, that's true. Unfortunately, this is not probably the best ride.
Okay.
But there are a few reasons why I think this ride is just sort of nobody's favorite. One, this is a really unique ride. So it's located in Fantasyland, which is probably the most kid area in Disneyland. I think we could all agree on that. But this is a scary ride. The 1955 version was especially scary.
Okay.
Right, like the ride today has special lighting. It has some parts are dark, some parts are light. But in the 1955 ride, the entire ride was in pitch black darkness with just black lights.
Nope.
I would have loved it. You kidding
And
me?
it's twisting and turning.
As a
and
kid, no way, dude.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
Oh,
but
no.
Still.
Right. And because I don't want to get hate mail, I'm sure there was some spotlights kind of on like the witch and things like that. But it was generally extremely dark in there. And it was actually considered the scariest ride in the park, even over Haunted Mansion once that opened up, because Haunted Mansion had a playful scariness to it,
right.
Whereas Snow White was just plain frightening.
Yeah.
So there's a running theory that this ride was meant to be Disneyland's version of a traditional spook ride.
Okay.
So a spook ride, it's not quite the same as like a haunted ride. It doesn't necessarily need to contain ghosts or ghouls or things like that, or things jumping out at you necessarily. It's simply a ride where surprising things happen in perpetual darkness. And that's what this was. So this theory also notes that a spook ride in Fantasyland actually makes a whole lot of sense given Walt's sort of idealistic views of what he wanted for Disneyland.
Okay.
So this suggestion is that like Fantasyland is meant to represent the many aspects of fantasy. So Peter Pan's flight would represent, beauty and enchanting adventure.
Okay.
Mr. Toad's, on the other hand, might represent fun and crazy adventures, where then that leaves Snow White to represent kind of more that scary and haunting adventure.
Okay.
So one of the major problems with this ride was the naming of it. When it opened in 1955, it was called Snow White and Her Adventures. So there's a few problems here. One, the name suggests that you'll be seeing Snow White and you're going to watch her on her adventures.
Right.
But as we've seen in other history shows, in these original versions of these rides, Snow White was nowhere to be found because you're supposed to be the main character. And again, nobody gets this.
Which makes no sense because from the original ones, the one bench cars, didn't it have names of the dwarf on the car?
Yes.
Which makes even less sense then.
Right.
Okay.
It's just the whole thing. It
You're
also
supposed to be riding Dopey through your own movie, apparently.
right, because you're in Dopey's bed. Like
Right.
the cars are supposed to be like their beds. So it doesn't make much sense. So you are Snow White on that ride at the beginning, and that makes the name Snow White and Her Adventures misleading.
Right.
And it left the audience confused and disappointed. So Ken Anderson designed this ride to start in the Diamond Mines. Then it continued through the Dark Forest, and then the Evil Queen's Castle, then to the Dwarf's Cottage, and finally to Stormy Cliffs.
Okay.
So this makes perfect sense in terms of a dark ride adaptation of the movie. But if you're Snow White, which was supposed to be the case, this journey doesn't make much sense. Because she doesn't go to those places.
Right.
So just the naming of it was confusing for people. So that was an issue. The second thing was that we think when we think about Snow White, we think falsetto singing to smiling animals, Prince Charming, and happily ever after.
Right.
This ride, however, was terrifying. It wasn't bright and cheery. It was dark and stormy. And audiences were absolutely unprepared for how scary the ride was. And part of that is just because of that name.
Right.
There was no suggestion that this ride was going to be a scary ride.
No, there's no warning at all.
It's just Her Adventures.
Oh, adventures. Okay,
Great.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then another potential reason why this ride isn't for everyone, and it's probably not anyone's favorite, is that like many of the original Disneyland rides, it was built in a hurry and with a lot of improvisation that took place during the development. One prime example of this is the ultraviolet painting that was done in the ride. So like I said, this was an important aspect of this ride because it made everything pop and made everything more exciting.
Right.
It was a relatively new concept, and Ken Anderson was concerned that as time went on in the park's life, that it was going to be difficult for the maintenance crew to upkeep the ride. So in order to counter this concern, he created a very detailed and specific color coding for the ride. He actually had done this for other rides as well. And he had corresponding drawings to go with this so that when they went to paint the ride, they would know exactly what to paint. And this was the time before computers.
Okay.
So those drawings were all that they had. And they got lost. Oh. And he was upset, of course. Oh, I'm sorry. So they got lost. And basically, somewhere along the line, I guess there was some sort of miscommunication. And the painters of the ride were just given cans of paint and told to paint, but they didn't know what they were painting. So they just started painting. And
what do you mean? Like they're like, hey, paint something?
Yeah. Like I mean, if you think about it, it's a very dark ride, right? So I don't know.
Okay.
The details are a little fuzzy.
Okay.
At this portion of the history of this ride.
Yeah.
And so I tried to make clarity of it as much as I could, but that's what I gathered is that somebody lost the drawings but the ride needed to get done. So they gave painters paint and they said, let's just paint. We got to kind of get this done. That's what I imagine happening.
So like stick figures for some people and like a Mona Lisa for someone else kind of a thing.
I don't know. Yeah. Basically it was described as just being, the paint was just slopped around.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
So, and my thought is that, say this is like a month before opening and they're freaking out. Things aren't done. Everything's going wrong at this point in Disneyland. And this is all my theory. But I would think, you've got the track. You've got the car. Just as long as that's going, people are on a ride. Let's just get it there. That's kind of my thought is maybe what was going on. And that's why they were just given paint cans and said, just go do it.
Right.
That's what I think. So anyway.
So you're talking like to paint the characters and to paint the actual story within the ride. There was no no direction.
Yes.
They said, okay, this scene should probably have, here's the mind. So go ahead and paint something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because
that makes a little more sense.
Yeah, because there was all these drawings, but they'd gotten lost. And so Ken Anderson, he angry.
Yeah.
He mad because he put all this work into this. He had this whole plan, and he was a little PO'd. So he ended up redoing all of the drawings and doing much of the actual ride painting himself, along with Claude Coates, because I think it was one of those, if you don't do it yourself, it's not going to be done right kind of thing. So, especially
in this specific situation, clearly nobody can be trusted with something. So
right. So he ended up taking it among himself to repaint the entire thing, essentially. And then
coats of paint.
Claude
Coat. Thank you.
And then there, Mark Edis. He worked as an Imagineer from 1982 to 1983, and I think he sums up
For a year.
He wasn't very good.
He was an intern.
No, I'm sorry, 1993.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hired in December, fired in January. I was an Imagineer for a year, homie. What do you want?
That's right.
I think he sums up the problem, the major problem with this ride in a very simple statement, and he said,
"Trash."
It tries too hard to tell a linear story and is not an actual experience with the story as background material. So if you think about that, Peter Pan, you're on Peter Pan, you're having an experience in any ride, and in Pirates of the Caribbean, you're having an experience, and in all of these rides, you're experiencing this thing, and there's also a story. In this ride, they tried to make it a story that you're riding through, and I think that's where their downfall was.
It's almost like Walt's obsession with walkthrough rides,
right?
Where you're part of the story and you see the thing going on,
right?
But you're not walking; you're part of it. And I get it. I get it because he's obviously very story oriented, but he wants to bring story to you. And if you think about it, animation and movies are very, very new. They're only 50 years old at this point, but Disney's making his money, for telling stories that you're in the middle of for 20 years only. That's not that long for technology. So he's trying to push the envelope, and it sounds like it just didn't hit with this one.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wonder how much that would have changed if they hadn't built the building first. You know what I mean? If they gave Homie a little bit more space.
Right. Absolutely.
Then you could have thrown another scene or two in there and kind of like, okay, it's the story of the movie that we've all kind of seen, which always sounded boring to me.
Right.
Like I saw this.
Right.
Yeah.
Much better than it is. Mm-hmm. But there you go.
Yeah. So I think that was probably one of the key issues that kind of surrounds all the other issues in a way. But so even the major refurbishment of the ride in 1983 couldn't quite make this ride a fan favorite. But it did help with some of the long-standing issues. So our friend Tony Baxter, he was the lead designer.
Our close personal friend.
Close personal friend.
Tony B. Whatever.
Tony B.
I've tried to book that dude on this show 7 times, and his people just, well, give me a couple dates. Here you go.
And then nothing.
Hey, just checking in. Sorry, Tony's on a cruise now. Oh my God. Okay, fine, but let's go.
I know. It would be so fun. Maybe one day.
Probably hate us.
Probably. He probably listened and was like, nah.
That's probably what happened. Now they don't even respond to me. They don't even write back to me now.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Oops.
Whatever.
Anyway, we've probably smashed one of his things at some point, and he was like, and that's the episode he heard.
Probably have.
Knowing me, I probably did. That's what you're trying to say.
It is, but
What?
I was trying to be nice.
Go ahead.
So Tony Baxter was the lead designer for the 1983 refurbishment, and there were two.
He did a great job. A deft hand, just a masterful.
Well, just stick with me. So there were two very notable and mandatory changes that needed to be made. Snow White had to be present in the ride, and there had to be more clues that this was a scary ride.
Okay.
Those are the two things that had to get done during this refurb. The first was easy. Snow White herself was finally added in 1983, and although only visible in the ride at one time, it did satisfy the frustration of audiences wondering where she was. in her ride. Then, to suggest that it was a scary ride, they also added a figure, although not to the ride itself. In the 1983 overhaul, Fantasyland's entire facade changed. We already know this, but the circus tent ride entrances were all replaced by darker, more realistic-looking Gothic stone facades, and they kind of resembled like an extension of the castle. So at the Snow White ride specifically, they not only added this dark stone, but they made it look like the evil queen's castle. And they had her peeking out behind the curtains several times a day to glare down at visitors below.
Which is the best addition.
It's awesome.
Absolutely.
And I didn't even know that happened until we actually started this show.
Oh,
I
really?
had no idea.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that was added to draw probably attention to the ride, but also to sort of point out that this is not a happy, necessarily go-lucky ride. Like there's an evil queen staring down at you. She's not smiling.
Right.
And they changed the name. So it is no longer Snow White and Her Adventure. It's Snow White and Her Scary Adventure.
Sense.
Yeah, the word scary, you can't say we didn't warn you.
So the real name of the ride is Snow White and Her Scary Adventure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because on the Disney, when they may have changed it, but on the Disney site now it's just Snow White's Scary Adventures.
Right. Snow
Oh.
White's Scary Adventure.
Oh,
Yes.
maybe that's it. Snow White's Scary Adventure.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to
Oh, okay.
to clarify.
Yeah, I think I
like-
just wrote that down wrong.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I'm changing that. So Snow White's Scary Adventures.
Okay.
The ride concept changed as well. It became a sort of hybrid between the original 1955 version and the newer 1971 Walt Disney World version, which was also overseen by Baxter. And that version was deliberately made to be much more sweet and happy. So this 1983 Disneyland version kept a lot of the original scariness and darkness, but it incorporated some of those more sweet, happy moments to try and balance out the ride a bit better. This is an editorial note. It did not work. It is not a balanced ride at all. But anyway, I'm going to move on.
Well, you did emphasize the word try.
Exactly.
They tried.
They tried.
They
to.
did try.
And I would argue that they probably made it a little more balanced than it was.
Yes, absolutely.
But I don't know.
But so also during 1983, Imagineers solved an ongoing problem with the ride: theft. At the part of the ride where the witch offers the rider an apple,
Right.
sneaky riders would often try and steal that apple, and they succeeded more often than not. So during this reboot, Imagineers made the apple a projection rather than a prop.
Nice.
I had heard from one of our friends that works there that it was like a prop apple, like they would build it every time, and people would just step off the ride and snake it. So they would go to like the store, and buy those like fake, plastic apples,
Yeah.
and put it up, because then it was like $1.
Right.
Versus like someone in the prop department going, okay, I have to recast another apple,
Right.
repaint it, and do the whole thing, right? But yeah, now it's a projection.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But it also it makes you wonder, like, there's so many projections now. Like, how many of them are for reasons like this?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
Like people trying to steal little trinkets and things. Punks. So then aside from some other minor adjustments and touch-ups here and there, I mean, the ride remains relatively the same now as it did in 1983. And that's pretty much it.
All right.
That's the history.
Cool, very
Good
good.
job.
You know what I would do to change that ride?
I thought you were going to say to change what you said. I was like, ouch.
Yeah. You know what I would do is rewrite the whole thing. No, in the mine scene where like the doors are ringing, I would just include a big water cannon that would just shoot right at you, and that would bring their mining practices into the at least semi-modern times. You know what I mean?
Wow.
With the water cannon, you spray all the rocks away, and it just spins right at you, and you get hit in the face. It's a good thing.
Yes, it'd be good.
Good job, Taren. You did a thing, and that was good.
No, it was
And
very good.
it honestly made me want to go on the ride again.
Nope.
Like, I don't mind the ride. I don't have anything
I don't mind the
against
ride
it.
either. It's just boring.
Well, and it ends really abruptly. I don't like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't care. I mean, I don't know. do I care about that? I don't know if I care really a whole lot about that, but it's just not an interesting ride for me.
I know. I don't really care about it at all, to be honest with you. And you're right. It does. It ends very abruptly. It's kind of strange how it's like, oh my goodness, they're chasing her, and he lived happily ever after. What in the world happened?
Yeah, it's fine. But even when you're walking through Fantasyland, everything else is super long, and you're kind of just bored.
Yeah.
I still don't even go on it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because
It is an original, though. I mean, it's got that.
That's why I've been on it. But like for the most part, I don't care about Snow White. I know the story, but then again, I've been on Haunted Mansion a whole lot, and I know you know what I mean. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting how we have these favorite rides that we really really love, and we won't touch something like Snow White. Right. That's an original ride. It's as nostalgic as we can be about Disneyland, just us, everybody in general, Disneyland fans. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting how we have favorites and how we choose what rides we go on and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Disney news?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Present and future with all the news that's fit to cover. It's the Ears Up Disney News.
Let's try that again, huh? Just started like
halfway through.
That was weird, yeah.
March in the
There we
past,
go.
present and future with all the news that's fit to cover. It's the Ears Up Disney News.
Huh. Broken. Things are broken.
What are you doing? There we go. My favorite part of the song is where it's just the banjo goes da 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 da. Okay, here's some good news.
Yay.
Disneyland is cleared to add 455 parking spaces to its Toy Story lot.
Wow, times 20. That's a lot. That's a lot of money coming in.
A lot of dough, man.
A lot of money.
And a move that will help prepare for the expected onslaught of visitors to its Star Wars land opening in 2 years. Disneyland Resort is adding more parking spaces to its off-site parking lot. Disneyland got unanimous approval from the Anaheim Planning Commission last week to add an additional 455 parking spaces to its Toy Story lot off Harbor Boulevard and Convention Way. Guests parking there are shuttled over to the theme park's interest. The Toy Story lot will increase to 5,378 parking spaces.
Wow.
Disney charges a $20 parking fee. We're pleased to offer We're pleased to offer even more parking options for our guests.
Well, thank goodness.
Said George Savas, a Disneyland spokesman. Well, what else are you? That's your quote. We're stoked.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're happy to do our project.
To lay down some asphalt for you.
Cool. That's a banger, dude. As part of the agreement with the city, Disneyland will replace 6-foot walls separating the parking area from nearby apartment complexes with a 16-foot tall sound wall made of masonry blocks and will landscape with rows of Canary Island pine trees. Disney plans to add new lighting for the parking lot and a ramp. My computer just froze up.
Oh, no.
We're still recording, okay? Why are you freezing, Holmes?
Everything's broken.
What? Yeah. No, there's no way.
Oh, I thought.
There's no
Just go in on
way.
it. Just go in on the.
Let's find the beat. There's no way.
Oh, I wish.
Me too. I really do.
Well, let's finish this story. I mean, I can't do anything else.
It's fine.
Disney plans to add new lighting for the parking lot and a ramp that would connect to its tram depot. I know that's depot, but I'm being weird. The extra space at the southeast corner of the parking lot will serve as an overflow parking area. Otherwise, it will continue to be used as a stormwater detention basin. Detention. On the days it rains, guests will not be allowed to park in that section. So guests will be able to park in that section every day of the year. That's
Why? Why?
I'm sure like the flood zones and grading and all that kind of stuff. Blah, blah, blah. The rest of the story goes on to bemoan the parking. We all know the parking.
I like that they think that's such good news. Is that like they're building another parking lot? Like,
Yeah.
cool story, bro.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So what? 5,000 parking spaces? You said $20, like 100. What? 100 grand a day?
53. I would be able to scroll up, but I can't because my computer.
It was 455 parking spaces at $20 a day.
455 additional parking spaces?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
But so it's like 53 something.
That's insane, dude. That's insane.
Yeah. Are we? Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. And I don't know. Here, let me get my phone.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
man,
There we go.
We got time to kill. Why not? Oh, look at that. It's already up.
That's fast.
Little computers
That
are
is
cool,
fast.
man. But that's the first time it's ever hung up on me like that.
Yeah, that was really weird.
It's a good thing it did it while we were alive.
Yeah, I know.
It's always the best time.
Better than before when we're trying to test everything out.
Yeah.
It's great to do it when we don't want it to happen.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. I love Chrome. Restore. Give me all my pages back, Chrome.
Now it's gonna all freeze again.
Probably. Disneyland
But-
cleared. Okay, we can ditch that one. Close.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that story. I mean, it's fine. It's
fine,
great.
but
it's
I don't.
Good,
we
I
don't
guess,
park there,
but,
so whatever. But it's mainly just for people who, if you want to park there.
But I just feel like they're like tooting their own horn for building another parking
No,
lot.
it was a weird quote, but it's good to know that they know they're going to get murdered on parking because people already complain about parking all the time. there,
That's
so.
true.
Here's a cool one, and Taren and I will be trying to go on Saturday if you want to go,
Okay.
Terrence. The exhibition of Raleigh Crump at the Oceanside Museum of Art, I believe is what it is, but this article is terrible. It's called Raleigh Crump. It's kind of a cute story. It runs August 26th through February 18th. Curated by Bob Self. This exhibition invites the public to step into the whimsical mind of dreamer and designer Raleigh Crump with the world premiere of a walk-through exhibition highlighting his 65-year career as one of the most imaginative attraction creators in the theme park history. As a nonconformist member of Walt Disney's hand-picked Disneyland design team, Crump was the eccentric architect of endearing and enduring environmental art installations that have stood at the forefront of a vibrant pop culture landscape for over half a century. Crump's contributions to It's a Small World, the Enchanted Tiki Room, the Haunted Mansion, and other Disneyland attractions were trend-setting at the time of their creation, and they remain entirely relevant today in a multi-billion-dollar industry that has grown perpetually and exponentially from the creative seeds planted by Crump and his peers. From his days within Disney's inner circle of pioneers and throughout all of his personal and professional endeavors, Crump has been a good-natured contrarian. Hey, that's me. Without the good-natured part. A visual provocateur who infused each of his projects with his own offbeat aesthetic. This will be a journey through a world of spinning propellers, marching toys, living clocks, and talking tikis. Museum goers of all ages will encounter magic, humor, inspiration at every turn. Yada, yada, yada. I'm trying to figure out what... the Oceanside Museum of Art, which is about an hour south of Anaheim. So I think Taren and I will go next Saturday.
I
Good time.
was looking at the map, and it might even just make sense to get a room down there or something. Because that's like almost San Diego, I think.
No,
Oceanside's pretty deep.
Yeah, I mean, San Diego's about 3 hours, I think. Well, we'll talk about it
Yeah.
because our friend Matsy might want us to go to his house, and I think he's up. So we'll see.
It seems like a really cool thing, though.
I really want to go. Plus, the Bagby Beer Company is down there, and that dude makes awesome beer. So I'm excited to go to that.
Well, there you go.
And there you go. There we go.
There we go.
Close the thing. Okay, here we go. Refresh. There we go. Disney is offering discount park hopper tickets for annual pass holders. Now, I'm not talking about Disneyland because I say Disney,
Oh,
Right.
so Florida. Okay.
right? People can buy... Oh, okay, here we go. Disney is offering a special deal where annual pass holders can purchase a one-day park hopper ticket for $79.
That's awesome.
People can buy up to 6 tickets at guest relations locations and ticket windows when they show their pass holder cards. Tickets must be used on the date of purchase.
So for blackout dates over there.
No, it's for family members.
Yeah, for family
Oh.
members.
Dope.
So like when
That's
we don't
amazing.
have our
Isn't that awesome?
passport, we can go with you and you can buy us all tickets for $79.
No.
But you can only get one day, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
The $79
Well, I guess you could
ticket.
get one day, and then the next
then
day
the
you get
next
it
day.
one day.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do that.
It covers either child or an adult.
great.
Right.
But
That's
I
what
guess
tickets do. But
right.
Okay,
But it's the same price for both, I guess, is what they're trying to clarify.
okay that makes
But
sense.
making it sound really
That's
nice.
okay.
Really nice of them. It covers either. Gives access to all 4 Walt Disney World parks, Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom for 1 day. Normally, a non-Florida resident could pay up to $174 for a similar adult park hopper ticket and up to $168 for a child. At that point, just make them both the same price.
Yeah.
For the love.
$11. Thanks.
The
Yeah.
Bring a Friend
Thanks for the
offer runs out September 30th, which marks the end of the company's fiscal year.
Okay.
Coincidence?
No, I think not.
I think not.
Right. Disney offered a similar promotion last year. Earlier this month, the company disclosed its revenue jumped 12% to $4.9 billion in the third quarter.
What?
That's insane.
The park opened Pandora, the World of Avatar, in May, but what drove the growth were international operations, such as Shanghai Disney Resort and Disneyland Paris, in addition to the already announced Star Wars Land and Toy Story Land coming to Hollywood Studios. They revealed a slew of rides. We already know that.
I
But,
think this is
it's
awesome.
I think it's cool, but I think it's messed up because we don't.
No, we'll never get this.
We'll never get this.
They're trying to get people to not go to Disneyland.
I don't know what they're trying to do, man.
I mean, they're not really, but like they're trying to. I don't know. This is like a really good reason to have an annual pass there. We don't have any really good reasons except that we're crazy.
Right. Well, if you get the annual pass for both, the deluxe pass. Remember Jeff? He went 2,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. He has a pass for both because there's no blackout dates here, and he
Okay.
goes to Disney World, I guess, or something like that. So.
Wait, he can't go to Disney
Can't
World.
go to Disney World. I think you're getting some stuff confused.
Yeah, because he can't go to Disney World because he goes to Disneyland every single day.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh, I see. Okay, no, you're right. Yes, I forgot about that. So I think he has the pass for both parks, but he just goes to Disneyland every day.
Well, no, because they have a Disneyland pass that you can go every day.
Oh,
With no
do they?
blackouts. Yeah.
I have that.
Yeah, that's
Oh, okay.
that's like the premium.
Wow,
We have the deluxe.
I'm not only confused on one thing. I'm confused on many things.
Yeah. Are you gonna? I'm gonna look for him next week when we're in the park. I'm gonna
Yeah,
look for
blow him up on social media, bro.
No, I want to look for him like a Where's Waldo kind of a thing.
Like a
I
hidden
wanna,
Mickey?
Yeah, I want to see if I can find him.
And Jeffy.
Yes.
Hidden Jeffy.
Here's something that's kind of cool, but it's full of puns. It's an article from Disney, like Disneyland, the Disney company, and it's full of terrible Disney puns.
Yes, it's gonna be punny. Look for it.
Read the entire thing.
I will.
As it's read.
I will.
With no size.
Okay. Exclusive Disney PhotoPass opportunities available during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Not exclusive. Exclusive.
Good so far.
Great start. Great start. We're here.
Yes.
Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at Magic Kingdom Park is full of fantastic entertainment.
Yes, it is.
With character experiences, the Boo to You Halloween Parade, Happy Hollow Wishes fireworks, Hocus Pocus Villain Spelltacular, Trick or Treat. Those are things you can do.
Yes,
I
these
guess.
are things.
Trick or treating throughout the park and numerous bewitching attractions open for your enjoyment. There are so many different ways to conjure up an enjoyable evening.
Oh boy.
I know. While you're materializing
Yes.
around the park during the event, don't forget to take advantage of wicked party-exclusive magic shots, animated magic shots, and photo opportunities from Disney PhotoPass service. Below, you'll find which enchanting photo ops will be available and information about where you can unearth them during the party. You need a bucket to vomit in, Terrence?
Great. Oh my god.
So the reason, and it does look pretty cool. So there's some animated ones here too. I'll pop the music up a little bit, but they're basically just really, really well lit, and then you can get a shot in front of the castle or in front of the train station, and they have like here you guys can see.
It's like HDR almost.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks computer generated in the background, right? So they probably just pull you out, and there's like a moon there, and it's like a tree, and then there's a headless horseman next to him, next to these people that are trying to act scared. But then there's this it's like a GIF basically. So these people are standing next to the pumpkins on Main Street, and then these ghosts kind of pop up and look at them, and
That's cool.
That's cool.
It's
I
kind of
guess.
cute, I guess, right? And then they disappear and whatever.
Can I tell you? Matt in the chat says that this segment is so Gould.
And here's another one where, but I think, and then they're standing in front of the castle, and then the ballroom dancers from the Haunted Mansion come in and scare you or whatever. But it's a photo of you, and then it's just animated like over it. So it's
And
awesome.
This is Disneyland, not Disney World, or is it both? Or
I don't know, actually.
oh, okay.
During parties, there's also a number of festive props you can use in your photos at various locations around the park. A spirited photo opportunity inspired by the 1929 Silly Symphony, The Skeleton Dance, near Ariel's Grotto, available after dark, and a lamp inspired by the Haunted Mansion Cemetery Watchman that you can include in your photos near the attraction entrance beginning around 8 o'clock. I believe this is Disneyland. No, Disney World. If you want to summon all of your charming vacation photos from the yada yada blah 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 blah.
So pretty much Disney World is getting all the cool stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was Disneyland too, but I guess not.
That's too bad.
Sorry, guys. It's pretty dope, though.
Well, it's
Sounds kind of cool.
It's cool for people in Florida.
Here's the last one we'll do. Fireworks finale. The Muppets Take the Bowl.
Muppets in the news?
The Muppets Take the Bowl is more than just a concert, more than just a performance, more than just a play on an iconic movie title. You know, The Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the Muppets starring in a unique mix of inspired, chaotic entertainment as never seen before, live and in person on stage at the legendary Hollywood Bowl, overflowing with music, laughter, parody, dancing, classic and new sketches, a fireworks finale, and who knows what else. The Muppets Take the Bowl will take you on a sensational, inspirational, celebrational journey from impossible beginnings to improbable, amazing Hollywood stardom. Join Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Fozzie the Bear, Great Gonzo, Animal, Sam Eagle, one of my favorites.
Yes.
Pepe the King Prawn, which, by the way, if you want to follow a Muppet on Twitter, follow Pepe.
What? I didn't even know they were on Twitter.
Oh, my God. Pepe's amazing. Anyway, in the entire Muppet cast, some who have not been seen in over 35 years.
Wow.
Along with Thomas Wilkins, the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra, and a special surprise celebrity guest for a once-in-a-lifetime event you'll never forget. That is Friday, September 8th, Saturday, September 9th, and Sunday, September 10th. So it's not
I would
really...
only go to that if Chip the IT guy was going to be there.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
He is my new favorite Muppet.
I really want to go to this.
I know, but
I really want to go to this.
It's not going to happen.
And look, let me tell you guys, if you go to if you've never been to the Hollywood Bowl and you want to do that, you should do that. But it's also the Hollywood Bowl has some cool dining packages and stuff like that, dude. It's
pretty good restaurant.
Yeah,
there.
Good wine.
But don't drive and don't take an Uber. So I don't know how you get there or leave, but
right.
But
so here, Pepe the King Prawn. He's his Twitter handle is Spicy Prawn. Okay, here's his most recent tweet. Terrence, you know you go to a lot of parties when your phone automatically connects to 12 different Wi-Fi's on your drive home.
That's pretty good.
Funny, right?
you gotta say it in his voice.
I can't do that. My best advice is fake it till you make it. What other people don't tell you is that you got to keep faking it even after you make it. Okay. Because his big thing is okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I like that.
If you're going to slip the host at your restaurant some monies to get you and your date a table, make sure it's bills, not change, okay?
Oh, my gosh.
I had a cold 2 weeks ago and told my mama, big mistake. She called me every day since to make sure I'm drinking enough fluids, okay?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. I just, I don't know,
Are
dude.
there other Muppets on Twitter, too?
I think most of the main ones.
Chip the IT guy should be on Twitter.
You want to find out if Chip the IT
Yes.
guy's on Twitter? Let's find out.
I think I have a crush on Chip the IT guy.
You would, though.
He is absolutely on Twitter.
He is?
There's a few of them, though.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. See, no,
You
it's,
need, like,
it's not.
at the real Chip.
Yeah, they would need to be verified, and that's not.
Did I tell you guys that someone tried to talk me out of my Instagram handle?
No, what is it?
Yeah.
What is your Instagram handle?
Terrence Green, right?
Okay,
And so this
your
dude,
name.
Right. So this dude messaged me on Instagram, and he goes, "Hey, man, I got a lot of stuff coming out right now. I'm starring in some Step It Up show that's coming out. I'm doing this and that. Would you mind putting a number after your name or an underscore or something?" I was like,
Wait, some guy told you to do that?
"Yes." like
Because he wanted your name?
because he wanted my name because his name is Terran Screen. Mind you, his his Instagram name right now is something like King Swag or something stupid like that, right? And I was like, no, bro, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
Did he offer you money?
Not a penny. But if this dude comes out with the step it up thing and 10 grand, got it, 10 grand.
Wait, what do you mean step it up? What are you talking about?
There's some. So I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look at my Instagram right now.
The movie Step It Up,
yeah.
and
There's
then
a show coming out.
and he's gonna be on it.
Oh wait, did I miss that?
Yes. So
Yeah, he's like an actor.
He messaged me saying
An actor.
He's an actor saying I have this stuff. I have stuff coming out, and I want your. I'm sorry. I want your. I gotta look it up on my phone. I want
Please
your
do.
Twitter name as a backup.
As a backup?
As a backup.
In case people don't
no.
respond well to King Swag 6969.
Yeah, that's probably
Wait,
not
did
the
he-
most
did he have, like,
professional name from to have. Right?
Did he at least have like an IMDb page or anything?
I'm sorry, Raw Swagger. My bad.
Raw Swagger, bruh.
Oh, that's good.
So
I loved when he wrestled against The Undertaker.
all right, so Raw Swagger. So hey, what's up, man? That's how That's how he starts it out.
Okay.
Was wondering how attached you are to your Instagram name.
It's my name.
Right.
Pretty attached.
We have the same name. I'm interested in it and was wondering if you could add maybe a number or underscore. This is as awkward as you to read as it is for me to type. But I have some films on the way, and I'm gonna need a backup account.
Ima? Like IMMA?
Okay.
Ima.
This clearly didn't come from his agent or his lawyer.
No,
All right.
this is straight from his phone. I'm gonna need a backup account. It'll mean the world to it'll mean the world to the Lionsgate fam. Let me know.
Jeez.
Oh, well, you got to rep the Lionsgate, fam. I imagine that's the distribution.
Yes.
That's what he's talking about.
Now,
So distribution probably was like, well, you should contact him and see. Make
Why
sure.
would they care about his backup name?
Why would Terrence
I
care
care?
about Lionsgate?
listen, Raw
Yeah.
Swagger.
Right.
You have an Instagram name. You could be Terrence Green
01.
01, and I almost took the real
You
Terrence
should.
Green on Instagram before
it.
he could snatch it up.
Do it.
I will. I
Do
will
it.
do it. I'll
And
do
Twitter and all them Johns.
Do it.
happening.
Take all of them.
Between this and the secret show, I'll do it. I'll
my
start taking
God.
all this stuff.
Do it.
But I mean, for real, like if the Lionsgate fam really cares about this, throw me some bucks, man. Put a number on
Right.
it,
For
For sure. Yeah. So
Just
you told
nothing?
him. So what did you say? Like, no,
I
I'm
said no,
trying
very
not to.
very attached. I have things going on as well. And then he was like, all right, well, peace and love, homie, blah blah blah. I'm like,
So I feel
Raw
like
Swagger,
I feel
come on,
like
bro.
Raw Swagger is like an extra in some Step It Up thing, and he's just taking it among himself. Like he feels like he's going to be a big star. That's my thought. So he's reaching out to you before that happens.
I don't know. I think that he had Raw Swagger because he's coming up as an actor. He finally lands a gig, and his distribution network and his manager are probably like going, okay, you need to grow up a little bit, Raw Swagger.
Yeah.
yeah, but he ain't getting my name.
No.
Sorry. If he blows up, if he's like the next
No,
Drake or
it's
something
still your
like
name.
that 10,000 might have a couple extra zeros put on the back of that.
Even just 10 grand, whatever, dude.
Can you, and you know what the thing is? You're like, man, I can't believe I got it for 10 grand. I'm like, I can't believe someone paid 10 grand for a name. For
Right.
real?
that didn't want to put anything else behind it or in front of it.
I got it. I'm gonna have to start checking. I'm gonna swoop up all these other names real quick.
Camp on him.
At the really real Terrence Green.
The realist Terrence
realist
Green.
Terrence Green. This fool's gonna be stuck.
I mean, you can put the only Terrence Green. You can do all sorts of stuff instead of contacting you.
I'm gonna go on Twitter and see if Raw Swagger's taking on Twitter and take that one too.
Please do.
Oh, this guy should have never contacted you.
Wrong people. Wrong people to mess with.
Oh boy.
Okay, let's do our Disney news. No, our excuse me, our fact of the show, and then bail out. Right?
yeah.
Let's do that. All right, good show, Taren. You did great,
Thank you.
and all that kind of fun stuff. Here we go. With my mouse from 25 years ago, let me scroll over. I feel like an old man trying to shuffle. Like I can't make one step far. I have to like make 4 small steps to swipe the mouse from right to left. Tarzan's Treehouse, is one of the only realized walkthrough attractions that made it into the final park.
I never even thought about it as a walkthrough, but it is.
Originally, several were planned, including a version for Haunted Mansion, Peter Pan, and Alice in Wonderland. Haunted and Pan never saw their walkthrough versions, but Alice in Wonderland got a modified walkthrough maze with the opening of Disneyland Paris. Since then, that attraction has been rebuilt in Shanghai in Disneyland, but themed after the live-action version of the movie instead. So there you go.
Cool.
Pretty cool news. What are you laughing at, Terrence?
Uh-oh.
Step It Up is a Lifetime series.
Oh, really?
Hey, he's got some stuff coming out. Holmes?
All right, $20.
Hey, everybody got to start somewhere.
You know,
true.
he got a signing bonus. It's fine.
Started from the bottom.
Yeah. That's where your negotiations will be.
Exactly.
Never get up. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we will see you in the parks.